Hello and welcome to Thoughts Can Heal podcast. I am your host, Denise Lynn, and I'd like to take a moment just to thank you and express my gratitude for you coming on here and listening and just sharing a few minutes out of your day with me. Okay, so today's podcast, I am going to, be sharing a technique that I have been using in my life, and it's something to help us with forgiveness. I have actually done several podcast episodes on forgiveness and the importance of forgiveness, and they all seem to do better than all the other episodes that I've put out there. So in other words, more people are listening to them. So I know it's a topic that a lot of people would like to learn, and I think a lot of people realize when you're holding grievances or grudges or whatever it is, resentment towards somebody else, possibly if they did something to you that was not right, that we seem to tend to spend a lot of our thoughts thinking about the situation. And what ends up happening when we do that, like these thoughts are just repeating themselves almost like on auto loop. What happens is we really miss out on the present moment and life itself. And I've mentioned before, and I'm sure you've heard it, forgiveness isn't for the other person. It's really for yourself. It's to free you from a prison that you might not even realize that you're in. And the less time we spend thinking negatively, harboring resentment or anger or unforgiveness, the more time we spend our lives in those states, just the more unhappy we become. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I like to share techniques and tools that I've learned from other teachers that have worked really well in my life. I do believe it's my mission to help people calm their nervous systems down and regulate their nervous systems and learn tips and tools to help stress and anxiety, and also learn powerful personal development tools that can help you live a happier, more abundant life. So this particular technique that I'm going to share today, I actually learned from one of my mentors, and her name is B.K. Shivani, Sister B.K. Shivani. And she's such a beautiful teacher. And I've been practicing this, and it's amazing how well it's worked in my life. So I'm just going to kind of give you an example. We've all been through times in our lives where we've been hurt by something either someone has said about us, or done to us, or wronged us. It's part of the human experience, unfortunately. We've all gone through that. But prison is when you hold on to that feeling of either being angry or hurt for too long. I'm not saying you should not ever, care about how people treat you. You should, in fact, very much so. But it's when we harbor these negative emotions. When we do that, they keep us stuck in a very low vibration. And it's very difficult to be happy, to, acquire the things that we desire and deserve in this life when we are vibrating at a low frequency. And everything is energy. Everything's about vibration. And when you're angry, bitter, resentful, you're really on a really low vibrational scale. And in order to, enjoy your life and have joy in your life, which you deserve, and peace of mind and abundance, whatever that means to you, we need to be vibrating on a higher frequency. And another thing is, I've recently learned just forgiveness, the act of forgiveness itself has so many different health benefits. It helps with immunity. It helps with endurance, I just found out, which is crazy. Helps people jump higher, which I know sounds really bizarre, but I just learned this. So anyhow, there's a lot of positive things that can come out of you forgiving somebody, or you might have multiple people. So the example I'm going to share with you is somebody in my life. They're not actually really in my life, but it was a situation that was really, in my mind, unnecessary, very hurtful, extremely hurtful. And I harbored so much anger and resentment, and I would literally go to sleep thinking about this person and how upset and how they wronged me. And what ends up happening is anything you're going to think about, or even watch for that matter, before you fall asleep, basically when you wake up, you're just going to go right back into that thought pattern. And that's what I would do. So I'd fall asleep being mad and angry. I'd wake up still angry and hurt and all those negative feelings. And I wouldn't stop there. Like, it was my topic of conversation to anybody that would listen to me. So while doing that, you're just adding fuel to the fire. So anybody that would give me their ear, I was like, can you believe this person did this? And this wasn't that long ago, to be honest with you. So, I know a lot of times I come on here and teach these things, but these are practices that I still use. Even today, I still use them. No one's perfect. Okay, so this went on for literally a year. That's a long time to hold resentment. So basically, I pretty much lost out on a whole year of my life, or at least a lot of it, because I was spending every single day resenting this person for what they had done to me. So I believe I started listening to Sister B.K. Shivani around this time, and I really just was so intrigued by her peace and her knowledge and her wisdom. And she's a beautiful, beautiful teacher. If you ever have a chance, you can find some of her spiritual teachings on YouTube. So in any case, she was discussing the art of forgiveness. And here's the thing. I think we all do, but I already knew how important forgiveness was. And I really thought I had it down, like, I could forgive everybody, but this particular situation really got me, and it really taught me that I still have a lot of work to do, and we all do. And that's okay. Excuse me. So I was listening to her, and she said, if you are harboring resentment or you need to forgive somebody, she said, and don't quote me 100%, but basically bring that person into your mind. Like in your mind, imagine that you are sitting face to face with them. Now, if you can apologize to somebody or talk it through with somebody in person, that's great. But you don't always have to. You can actually just have the thoughts of forgiving somebody and putting them in your mind's eye like they're sitting in front of you. They're still going to feel that frequency. So basically what she says, now this could be a controversial subject. I'm not sure, and I'm not trying to start any controversy, but what she believes is that a lot of times when somebody comes into our life and we have a problem with them, and I know this to be true in my life as well, like you meet somebody they're in your life, or maybe it even can be a family member or a friend, or even a mate, but you can't figure out why the two of you just cannot get along. You just feel that vibe whenever you're around them. Or somebody, we'll go back to the topic of somebody harming you or hurting you or doing something to you. So what she explains, and I'm not sure how I believe this 100% or what, but I'm just going to share how she kind of puts it out there. And it makes sense, actually. And, just please keep an open mind. She mentions that a lot of time that when we have somebody in our lives like this, or somebody that hurts us, that we were possibly in a past life together, and there was some kind of occurrence and it caused like this karmic debt. So the souls come back, which she believes that we're all souls, which we are, all spirit and souls, that we come back into these lives, like, this is just one life and we come back and we're in a different outfit, she calls it, or different costume rather. So she says that it's important, if we're having issues with somebody or we need to forgive for ourselves, for our freedom, that you bring them again into your mind's eye, like just pretend they're standing in front of you, sitting in front of you, and here's what she says to say mentally. And you can grab a piece of paper and a pen, because that's what I did. I wrote these things down, and this is how I practice. So the first thing she says to say to them mentally is, I am sorry for what I have done in the past. I am sorry for what I have done in the past. And the next thing she says is, I forgive you for what you have done in the present. I forgive you for what you have done in the present. Our past karmic account is over. Our past karmic account is over. I radiate only love and blessings to you. I radiate only love and blessings to you, because this is who I am. I am the master of my mind. I am the creator of my destiny. Isn't that beautiful? So let's get back to this person that I held all these terrible negative emotions about for a year. And again, would tell everybody. I couldn't wait. I would tell my Uber driver. I was telling everybody. So I was just adding fuel to it, keeping it alive. Anybody that would listen to me. And let's just say I wasn't feeling that good that whole year. I had some, I was definitely emotionally unwell. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because basically anytime you're harboring any negative, any judgment, any jealousy, any resentment, basically any person that does that, unfortunately, there is some emotional unwellness going on. And we can clean up that unwellness by meditating on these types of prayers, where we are just mentally putting the people that we're having these negative feelings about in our mind's eye and apologizing to them and radiating love and blessings to them, because that is a healthy mind. A healthy mind is somebody who is, no matter what the circumstance, if somebody says something really rude to you, it might not be fair, but the only way you can allow it to hurt you is if you choose to allow it to hurt you. Instead, you can maybe look at the person and think, okay, for them to say something so terrible to me, there is some emotional unwellness going on in them. And what would you do if you had a family member or somebody you love close to you who was sick, say with, a disease, a physical body disease, a disease in the body? You take care of them. And how Sister Shivani explains it is, if somebody's being nasty to you or rude, it has nothing to do with you. It's the state of their well-being. It's a state of their thoughts. So once we understand that, we can be so much more compassionate and radiate the love. And when you do that, you feel lighter. So what happens when you say these prayers, or what happens when you, rather than reacting to somebody being nasty to you and responding calmly, choosing not to react and responding calmly and realizing, okay, there's some unwellness. I've been there too myself. We all have. I'm going to radiate love and blessings to this person. I'm not going to allow their behavior to affect my life, my day, my hour, because our time here is so precious. And what we are, like Sister Shivani said, she said when she says, I radiate only love and blessings to you, because this is who I am. And to the core of our being, all of us, is love. All of us. And all of us want love. And the quickest way to receive that is by giving. by radiating it out. So I started actually writing a letter. I had heard from another teacher to do this. So I started every morning when I wake up. And once you are thinking about something, especially negative, unfortunately, for a long time, it takes a little bit for you to stop thinking along those lines. But this is what I practice, and I can promise you, I have not one bad feeling about this human being anymore. I actually send this person love. If the thought of them comes into my mind, I don't have that icky feeling anymore. It is so freeing. So what I started doing was I started writing a letter. And I hand wrote it, and hopefully I've discarded them. I hope I've discarded all of them, because I swear if my family ever finds it, they're going to think, oh my goodness, what a crazy woman. But it was necessary, and sometimes it is necessary to write things out. So I would write this letter, and I would do it every day, and I would start it by, to so-and-so's higher good, or to so-and-so's soul, and then I'd start apologizing. I'm sorry for whatever I have done in the past to hurt you, whether it was in thoughts, words, or actions. I apologize. And then I wrote, I forgive you for any thoughts, actions, or words that you've said against me. Our karmic account is over. It's over. It's wiped clean. And I only radiate love and blessings to you. So I'd start writing that every single day. And it probably took me about a month. In all honesty, it took me probably about either 21 to 30 days, when I just didn't even think about it anymore. It was just over. And literally, I don't have one negative feeling. But here's the problem. Because of all the people, all my family members, and my friends, and like I said, the Uber driver, all those people that I sat there and ranted to, I actually gave them, people I love, negative energy and negative thoughts about this person. And we do this. We can pollute our loved ones' brains by talking negative and telling that story. So now I'm trying to work on recovering from that, because I actually had a friend come over for dinner last night, and he mentioned that person. They're a real jerk, right? And I was like, you know what? It's over. I really don't have anything negative to say about that person anymore. When he looked at me like confused, And I mean, this was I remember all the times I'm like, can you believe this person's doing this to me? So all I did was I polluted my friend, one of my closest friends, by expressing and telling that story, that negative story. So that's another thing to be mindful of, is when we, gossip about a situation that we're not happy with, we're filling people we love, their minds, with junk that they don't even need. They don't need that burden. They don't need to have any negativity. We need to be radiating love and blessings to everybody. But, I'm being completely honest. I did this. So now I'm trying to reverse it. So I'm praying on that. And whenever, and this is happening more often, people, how are you doing with that situation? Everything's fine. I overdid it. I am trying to explain that now I just really just want peace between that person and myself. So they kind of tilt their heads and look at me a little bit like, who are you? But everything in life, I believe, is an opportunity for a lesson. And, this was, I'm fortunate that I have learned the lesson. But again, no one's perfect. So, this is a tool now that I have that I will continue to use until, and hopefully one day, I'm enlightened enough that I won't need it. But, I'm an average person just like everybody else. I make a lot of mistakes. I certainly do, probably more than most people. But I'm learning these tools and these ways of thinking and ways of perceiving things that are really beneficial for my life. And again, that's why I'm sharing it with you. So I'm going to read over these statements, these affirmations from Sister B.K. Shivani one more time, in case you just want to grab a notebook or something and write them down. And I hope that you apply this technique, and the writing one has worked wonders for me. So you can either say these things, and what she suggests is you cleanse daily. She calls it cleansing and cleaning, and trust me, it does feel cleansing to not have those negative thoughts about any human being. It feels free. It feels light. There's so many other things you could be doing with your time than sitting around ruminating negative thoughts about somebody. You can go for a walk. You can go sit under a tree. You can meditate. You can pet your cat, your dog, call somebody and just tell them you love them. There's so many things, so many other things to do with your life than waste it on negative ruminating thoughts that hurt you, not even the other person that did it to you. It's not even hurting that person. It's causing you pain, you discomfort every time you relive it. All right. So here are the affirmations. And again, she suggests saying them in the morning, right after you wake up, and right before bed. And the reason why you hear a lot of spiritual teachers talking about those 2 times is because that's when our subconscious mind is the most receptive, and you're usually in a state, your brainwave state is usually you're dipping into alpha, and then you go into the deeper brainwave states as you fall asleep, such as delta or theta, then delta. Okay, all right, so here we go. I am sorry for what I have done in the past. So you're apologizing to them. I forgive you for what you have done in the present. Our past karmic account is over. I radiate only love and blessings to you, because this is who I am. I am the master of my mind. I am the creator of my destiny. So beautiful. Okay, before we end, a couple of things I would like to talk about. So I recently published a new book. It is called The 7x7 Method. It's 7 tools in 7 minutes to help reduce stress and anxiety. It's available now on Amazon for only $7. Yes, there's a theme going on there. So I'm going to leave a link in the show notes if you'd like to purchase it. It's a very short, little, simple book. I teach these 7 tools that I've used that have helped so much, help me reduce my stress, lower my stress hormones, get me out of a panic. So if you are somebody that tends to have anxiety or is going through a very stressful time, please, I encourage you to pick it up. Like I said, it's only $7, so it's on Amazon. All right, that, and what else was I going to mention? Oh, if you're listening to me on YouTube, I would love it if you could either, give me a like or subscribe, or even both. It's going to help me build a bigger audience and help me get these messages that I'm sharing with you out to more people. So that I would greatly appreciate. All right. As always, I always end my podcast episodes with a couple breathing exercises or different breathing exercises just to help relax you, calm your nerves a little bit, refresh you. And today we are going to do what's called the physiological sigh. If you're not familiar with it, it is a wonderful technique. It's actually in one of the tools in my new book, the 7x7 Method. And it works so quickly in real time. It's being tested in the labs right now with if you're familiar with Dr. Huberman, he's done some episodes on it. It's just a remarkable tool to work very quickly to calm your nervous system. So how you do it is you're going to inhale in through your nose, a deep breath in, and at the top of the breath, you're going to take an extra sip of air in. So it's going to sound something like, and then you exhale out of your mouth with an audible sound like a sigh of relief. It's called the physiological sigh. We do it all the time. Babies do it. Mammals do it. All right, we're going to do it 5 times together. All right, so deep breath in. Extra sit. Exhale out. One last time. All right, my friends. Again, I thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And I'll be back next week with another episode with something good to share with you that'll help you just be happier and calmer and have a more peaceful life. Until then, take care. Namaste.